When you think about fabrics in interior design, don't limit yourself to draperies and pillows. Another popular fabric use for designers is using fabric as wall covering. Here's the rundown on seeing your favorite fabric make its way off the bolt and up onto your own living room walls. The first step is to choose the fabric that will not only look great, but will work well with this application. My rule of thumb is to choose stiff or tightly woven fabrics. These make for the best wall covering simply because once they're up on the wall, they won't wrinkle or pucker. While both prints and solids work equally well, it's wise to test your options out first. Simply purchase a small quantity of the fabrics you're considering, tape them up on your wall and live with them for a few days. You may often find the one you love the most in the store won't be your favorite once you see it in the space. The next step in the project is to figure out how many yards you need. There's a few things to keep in mind first. Be sure to measure your walls and jot down the dimensions before heading to the fabric store. If math's not your forte, don't worry about it. The fabric specialist at the fabric store can tell you how much you need based on your dimensions. Printed patterns with large repeats are always going to require more yardage to account for waste. This also means there's going to be more cost. Solids usually require the least amount of yardage, as do patterns with small repeats. Stick with areas that are low maintenance. Some things to consider are traffic flow, kids and pets, or consider installing the fabric halfway, like above a chair rail. This application is obviously not best for a kitchen. Spaghetti and silk do not mix well. Above all, proper prep is the most important step for this application. This requires making sure your walls are perfectly smooth. First by combing for any divots, sanding, then spackling. Now you're ready to install the fabric. The first thing you want to do is temporarily tack up the fabric using nails. If you're using a pattern, the next thing you want to do is match up your repeat. Then you want to add wall covering adhesive directly to the wall. You'll really need to pick up the pace because it dries fast. If your wall has AC vents, light switches, or outlets, simply cut around those areas using a straight edge and a utility knife. You'll also need a straight edge and utility knife when you reach corners, moldings, and baseboards. The last step is to remove any air bubbles or wrinkles from the fabric using a smoothing tool. There is some maintenance involved in keeping your fabric walls looking new and fresh. Keep a lint roller on hand to keep dust and lint under control. Fabric-covered walls can completely change the look of the room. It's not only easy to do, but it's a great way to make a high-impact statement.